So after the debates, the issue of race became a heated topic specifically between Kamala and Joe Biden. Now, of course, in true Kamala Harris fashion, she decided to try and capitalize on her newly found blackness, the blackness that really didn't exist or was ever talked about Kamala or in regard to Kamala until she ran this race. Prior to this race, all she ever discussed was her Indian family and how close she was to them. So, of course, people feel a little bit skeptical about Kamala weaponizing the black experience for her own personal political agenda. And the black community specifically, they're not buying it. They're not buying it. So I don't know if you all knew this, but Kamala did announce that she's going to do $100 billion home ownership plan for black people. And that sounds great. It really does. It does. And it would be a great start if the black community didn't know and remember the same thing that I remember that Kamala said just like a couple of months ago.
Do you support reparations for black people?
Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination, segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit black children, black families, black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this: any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Yeah, Kamala. I know, because this is an issue we had with Hillary too, right? Hillary would tell us one thing and then forget that there's like videos, and the internet's crazy when it comes to storing memories. A big place that can store a lot of memories and store a lot of data. A lot of that data may be things that you thought you didn't say, but then you said it and you forgot you said it because you're too busy. You tell too many lies that you forget that we can just look this stuff up. It's not very hard to find. It really isn't. And so the black community remembers this. They of course, why wouldn't they? And so Kamala, obviously she made this announcement at a few of her events, but she decided to make the announcement on Instagram. And unfortunately for Kamala, the black community was not having it. And I must admit, it did my heart good. Let's look at some of the comments that were on that feed. This is the first comment. And then she'll find a way to lock us up in the private prison she invests in. Next, don't be fooled by this. She's trying to get the black vote. She's still the same one investing in the private prison system. Next one. Sounds suspect or another housing project. In other words, a gentrification type of project. Yeah, that's cute, but still voting for Bernie. Ooh, that's gotta burn, Kamala. That's gotta burn. That's gotta burn. Ooh. Look, the next one. All skin folk ain't kin folk. Speak on it. All right. The next one. Cis only black for the votes. The next one. She's not for black people. Y'all need to go. The next one. I'm still fucking with Bernie. He's been fighting the same fight before he even became a politician. The next one. She's still suspect. The next one. At this point, I feel like anything is being said to get that vote. Girl, please, next. The next one. Girl, ... Okay. Next one. She's lying, so there's that. The next one. I'm never going to do anything that just benefits black people. Like we just showed you. See, it's like people remember. This is a con game. The next one. That's a lie. They'll say anything for a vote and who to lie for that vote. Black people. The next one. I feel like she's using the same tactics as Trump with the wall to his voters. She's securing the votes. Her track record with black people and problems within the black community is wary. The next one. Bye, girl. You tore hella black families apart. You were not for us. Go away. The next one. Do not support her. So as you can see, the black community is not having any of Kamala's BS. I mean, think about this. Even when we're talking about the debate, after the exchange with her and Biden, right? Her Twitter or her staff uploaded a photo of her as a little girl, not even like 30 seconds after the exchange finished, which means they were prepared for that specific exchange. Now, of course, I can't do anything but speculate as to how she figured that out, how she knew if that question was going to be asked, but it should probably draw some concerns that her staff had shirts on deck waiting for that moment. What's even more interesting about it is that the debate, I know it got turned into a race issue because it is indeed a race issue, but it was primarily a busing issue. And because busing has become an issue of race because of segregation in the past and how it is used or not used appropriately when we're dealing with gentrification in the present. So the busing issue is still an issue today. And the discussion they were having was about the busing issue on a federal level. And it turned out Kamala actually feels the same way as Joe Biden does about busing. Yeah. So in other words, she just put on the show so she could have that opportunity to peddle her blackness. And what's really weird about the entire situation is that her timeline and what we already know about Kamala don't really add up. If you know anything about Kamala's family, Kamala's mother came from one of the richest castes in India when she moved to the States. Kamala's mother was a research scientist at Berkeley. Kamala's father, if I am not mistaken, was also at Berkeley. Kamala lived in one of the nicest communities in the Berkeley area. So, there are a bunch of other discrepancies as well, but just the fact alone, do you think that Kamala was getting bused with the lower middle class to poor black people into the white neighborhoods? Or did she just happen to be on a bus with those people because she already lived in those upper middle class and wealthy neighborhoods? Which is why this was something she had never discussed before. Think about it, people. Those comments summarized it perfectly. She's not for us. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say it, but she's not. She literally had a whole debate, an argument with Biden, got more famous off of it, weaponized it. It was about the federal busing laws that Biden he did. He absolutely opposed them. It was wrong for him to oppose those laws because he knew what it meant. And it turned out Kamala feels the same exact way as Biden does about the laws that she got into a Biden debate about, and is now profiting off of that. Pandarella, panderific, fantastic, pander, grah. Yeah, all that. We don't got time for the pandering. We would rather you just be honest and straight up. You don't have a plan for us. Seriously, we would rather you be honest and straight up. Because this is actually more insulting. I'd love to know what your thoughts are about this. Leave a like and a comment below. But hey, more than anything else, always remember, find your balance. Peace. Thanks for watching that segment of Mi Casa es Su Casa. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Roku TV, and on JustNForm.com. Also, you can make sure that you're subscribed to the channel by going to the subscribe button, pressing it, and hitting that notification bell to get all of our notifications. And of course, you can help us reach our goal of 500 patrons on Patreon by supporting the show by donating as little as $1. You can click on the link in the description below for that. And remember, more than anything else, find your balance.